Once upon a time, there was a young boy named Koji, who lived in a small village surrounded by green hills and winding rivers. He was always curious about the world, asking questions about why the stars shone at night, how plants grew from tiny seeds, and what it meant to live a good life. His parents encouraged his curiosity, but they couldn't answer all his questions. Koji wanted to find deeper truths, the kind that settled in the heart and stayed there. One day, while helping his father in the rice fields, he overheard villagers talking about a wise Zen master who lived on the highest hill nearby. They said the master understood the secrets of life and could teach anyone who was willing to learn. Koji's eyes lit up. This was his chance to find answers. The next morning, Koji packed a small bag with rice balls and a water gourd and set off for the hill. The path was steep and rocky, with twists and turns that made his legs ache. Birds chirped in the trees, and the sun filtered through the leaves, painting patterns on the ground. Koji stopped to catch his breath, wiping sweat from his forehead. He looked up at the hill's peak, where a simple temple stood like a silent guardian. "I have to keep going," he whispered to himself. After hours of climbing, he finally reached the top. The temple was peaceful, with a wooden gate and a garden of wildflowers. An old man in plain robes sat near a stone fountain, his eyes closed as if listening to the wind. Koji approached quietly, his heart pounding. The master opened his eyes and smiled, as though he'd been expecting him. "Master," Koji said, bowing low, "how can I find Zen? I want to understand life's mysteries." The master studied Koji's eager face and replied, 10 years. Koji blinked. 10 years felt like forever. But what if I work harder than anyone else? How soon then? The master stroked his beard. 20 years. Koji's shoulders slumped. "I don't understand. If I promise to give all my time, every moment, to practice, how long would it take?" The master's voice softened. 30 years. Koji sat down heavily on a nearby rock. "Why does it take longer when I promise to try harder?" The master picked up a dry leaf and twirled it in his fingers. "When you focus only on the goal, you forget the path. Imagine a man climbing a tree to reach the fruit at the top. If he stares at the fruit, dreaming of its sweetness, he might miss the branch under his feet. He could slip and fall. But if he focuses on each step, the feel of the bark, the strength of his arms, the rhythm of his breath, climbs safely. The fruit becomes a gift, not a prize." Koji frowned, trying to grasp the lesson. "So, wanting something too much can push it away?" The master nodded. "A farmer doesn't yank seedlings from the ground to make them grow faster. He tends the soil, waters them, and trusts time. Zen is the same. It's not a race. It's waking up to the present, like noticing the scent of rain before it falls." He handed Koji a cup of tea. "Drink slowly. Taste the earth, the sun, the hands that picked these leaves." Koji sipped, feeling the warmth spread through his chest. He'd never noticed how tea could taste like so many things at once. For days, Koji stayed at the temple, helping sweep the garden and prepare meals. The master taught him to sit still and watch his thoughts like clouds passing by. "Don't chase them," he said. "Just let them float." At first, Koji fidgeted, impatient for a flash of wisdom. But gradually, he began to notice small things, the way sunlight danced on the fountain, the sound of wind chimes, the kindness in the master's laughter. One evening, as they gathered firewood, Koji realized he hadn't thought about finding Zen for hours. He was simply living, moment by moment. When it was time to leave, Koji thanked the master. "I think I understand now," he said. "Zen isn't something you grab. It's something you breathe." The master smiled. "Remember the tree. Climb with your whole heart, not just your eyes." Back in the village, Koji changed. He still worked hard, but he no longer rushed through chores. While fishing, he noticed the ripples on the water. While playing with friends, he laughed louder. When storms came, he learned to sit quietly and wait for calm. Villagers asked him what the master had taught him. "He taught me to see," Koji said. Years passed. Koji grew into a young man, known for his patience and quiet joy. Travelers often came to him for advice. He'd share stories of the master and the tree, reminding them to trust the journey. One day, a child asked him, "How long did it take you to find Zen?" Koji chuckled. "I'm still climbing the tree. But now, I love the climb." And so, Koji's life became his practice. He married, raised children, and grew old, always finding wonder in ordinary moments. When his hair turned white, someone asked if he'd ever reached the fruit he'd sought as a boy. He pointed to the sunset, painting the sky in gold and purple. "Why look for fruit when the whole tree is alive?" he said. His story spread, reminding people that life isn't about rushing to the top. Happiness isn't a destination, it's the sum of all the steps, stumbles, and breaths along the way. The master's lesson lived on. When you stop chasing, you start finding. And in the end, Koji's greatest wisdom was knowing he'd never stop learning, growing, and climbing, one mindful step at a time.